Why would we sell our perfectly good, heavily modified 4Runner for a used luxury SUV? If you ask my wife, there are some obvious reasons, especially for her, being that she is 9 months pregnant at this point. Getting in and out of the 4Runner was becoming a challenge. As for me, yes, I will definitely miss my 4Runner, but V8, amazing off-road capability, body on frame construction, a proper low range, full-time four-wheel drive. It checks a lot of boxes to be a future adventure rig. Before we dig into all things GX, go over our buying process, our first time off-road, and our initial driving experience. Let's first take a look back at our 4Runner. I think that as far as Toyotas go, I think the 5th Gen 4Runner is one of the best vehicles ever made. So naturally, when I was looking for a replacement for the 4Runner, the J150 platform was top of mind. Now, I had basically modded out my 4Runner to be able to tackle just about any kind of terrain. It was sitting on 35-inch tall BF Goodwrench tires. It had a Warn winch, high clearance front bumper, Overland style rear bumper. I was pretty much outfitted to go for weeks or months at a time and be able to tackle just about any kind of difficult terrain that you could throw at it. The decision to sell wasn't one that was taken lightly, but we just decided we needed to move on from the 4Runner. The 5th Gen 4Runner values are ridiculous. Honestly, with a new child on the way, figured that now might be the time to get our money back out of it, and then I could start a build on the GX at a later date. After countless miles and memories, it's time to say goodbye to the 4Runner and hello to day one with our 2017 GX460. It's pretty well taken care of. Cup holder, which those are kind of delicate to begin with, but there's a few things that'll need to be addressed. 100,000 miles on the clock. Big thing was these captain's chairs. We had to have that. Front seats are both in pretty good condition. You know, it's wear and tear for a vehicle of this age, and those are to be expected. It is not perfect, but it is in really good shape. It's going to take some getting used to. Engine smooth. Everything still feels really tight. I'm not exactly sure what any of you GX people out there could give me any tips on other things to look for or maintenance to get caught up on, but Stay super solid. Of course, full-time, four-wheel drive. Definitely will be pulling family duty, and it's going to do a really good job of it. This full-time four-wheel drive feels a little Land Rover-ish, nice and tight. The only difference is you're a little bit more connected to the road with the traditional suspension system that's in this, as opposed to feeling like you're on a cloud of titties in the Land Rover. I mean, the air ride suspension, full air ride suspension, cross length and everything is it's the chef's kiss. It really is. It's nice. And with that, we consummated the deal, and although I wanted to take it off-road almost immediately, I had to wait a couple of weeks, but it was well worth the wait. Now, the GX comes with a whole host of off-road goodies, including KDSS, A-Track, a proper low-range transfer case, locking center differential, and some models are equipped with crawl control and MTS. The cool thing about it, and what we will be doing to upgrade ours, is adding crawl control and MTS, because it's just basically plug and play, and then you're going to need to get a little bit of a program done. But other than that, you'll have all the functions that a 5th gen 4Runner had, just a little bit more dressed up. And of course, one of my personal favorites is riding off-road with the ventilated seats. It's absolutely wonderful. All right, we're gonna put her in neutral for low. And we might as well, just for good measure, we'll put on downhill assist control.
Guys, this is wildly steep when you're actually in the vehicle.
Yeah, way steeper than it looks. And again, we just put her in 4 low and promptly went and found the steepest hill we could find out on the farm. All right, guys, anybody out there have a negative experience with a GX? If you do, sound off now. But I want to hear your positive comments. I want to hear that, you've got 200,000 miles, 250,000 miles, little things to look for as far as maintenance goes. I'm slowly catching up to all of the terminology and all the little pitfalls, so to say, that are common on these, but maybe you've got something to add to that I'm just not aware of. But I mean, my personal opinion, just in what I've researched and what I see, that even though it's a luxury vehicle, the cost of maintenance is relatively low in these. We specifically were seeking a base model. I did not want to have the airbags, and we were looking for captain's chairs in the second row, and we were able to find that. I may decide in the further away future to get rid of the KDSS completely. If you've done that, let me know. Pitfalls to that, some things, concerns, things that hey, you probably shouldn't do that. I'm just curious. I'm getting kind of, like I said, I'm just getting acclimated to it, and there's a list of things that need to be addressed, and I'm going to be starting a little series with that. We're getting it up to getting it current with everything. I just recently had it in for service, and they gave it a clean bill of health, but it had about 102,000 miles when we purchased, and we're needing to do the differential service, some of the other things that they recommend, and I think at 120K it'll need new spark plugs. I plan to do all of that myself, so if you like to check that kind of stuff out, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm planning to make this kind of more regular content to fix the things that need to be fixed, and getting it, like I said, 100% bill of health. It's remarkable just how composed the vehicle felt off-road. There were many times that I would pick up the speed intentionally, going over extremely rough terrain, and there's literally no feedback back through the steering wheel. The vehicle doesn't bounce around. just is stable and composed all the time, and it's a pretty wonderful feeling, to be honest. And I was actually surprised, pleasantly surprised. And although its positives far outweigh its negatives, the GX does have an Achilles heel. It would be just the amount of plastic that it has in close proximity to its approach angle and departure angle. Luckily, this one has the factory installed hitch, which will help safeguard the plastic on the rear bumper, which I could see would be pretty easy to delete. And by delete, I don't mean like you remove it, I mean like you accidentally remove it, if you understand what I'm saying. Got to spend more time behind the wheel the last couple of weeks. We've had it for about a month and a half, but just, man, the schedule has been crazy. Been making multiple trips to the doctor, and of course, the wife's about to have her baby, so we've been making once a week appointments to the OBGYN. Highway driving is very comfortable. It's just you just have to get behind the wheel and feel it. It never feels like it lacks of power. Um, it's just very stable, very planted, um, very much an enjoyable experience. Off road, it couldn't get much better. Heated and ventilated AC seats, KDSS, low range. I was able to get the A track to kind of engage just a couple of times, but I mean, we're still getting familiar with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. To all you Forerunner guys, I'm sorry. It's I debated. I tried anything that I possibly could not to get rid of my fifth gen Forerunner, but just life circumstances and everything else going on right now, it was just it had to be done. Um, I know the title, an upgrade. Well, in a lot of ways, it is. So let's leave it at that. Don't forget to leave me a comment about your experiences with your GX. And guys, have a blessed day. We'll see you later.